We discussed the Himalayan mountains and northern plains. Today we will discuss about the Peninsular Plateau and the Great Indian Desert. So without any delay, shall we begin? First we will discuss about the Peninsular Plateau. Now the Peninsular Plateau is a tableland composed of the old crystalline, igneous and metamorphic rocks. The plateau is believed to be the oldest land. It's a tableland composed of igneous metamorphic rocks. It was formed due to the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land, thus making it part of the oldest landmass. The plateau has broad and shallow valleys and rounded hills. The plateau consists of two broad divisions, the Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau. Now the Deccan Plateau you are seeing here, the Central Highlands. There is an extension, that's the eastern extension. The part of the Peninsular Plateau lying to the north of the Narmada River, covering a major area of the Malwa Plateau, is known as the Central Highlands. To the north of Narmada River, you can see here, this is Narmada, this is Tapi, right. The Vindhyan range is bounded by the Satpura range in the south and the Aravalis in the northwest. You can see here, this is the Vindhyan range, right? You can see here the Vindhyan range, Satpura, Aravali range here, right? The further westward extension gradually merges with the sandy and the rocky desert. If you still go west, it is the desert. The flow of the rivers draining this region, namely Chambal, Sindh or Indus, Betwa, Ken, from southwest to northeast, thus indicating the slope. So, alright, the rivers are here. The Central Highlands are wider in the west but narrower in the east. The eastward extension of this plateau are locally known as Bundelkhand and Bagelkhand. Probably locating Bundelkhand and Bagelkhand, it would be here. I think in the next one I can tell you more about that one. Northeastern Plateau. Now the Chota Nagpur Plateau makes the further eastward extension drained by the Damodar River. Now this is the northeastern plateau. Mainly it has Karbi Anglong Plateau and Meghalaya Plateau here. The Deccan Plateau is a triangular landmass that lies to the south of the river Narmada. The Satpura range flanks its broad base in the north. This is the next one. In the Deccan Plateau, we'll see Mahadev, Kaimur, Maikal range form its eastern extension. You have to locate these hills in the ranges in the physical map of India. The Deccan Plateau is higher in the west and slopes gently eastwards. An extension, as I told you here, is the Northeastern Plateau, Karbi Anglong Plateau, north. If you see here, it is separated by a fault from Chota Nagpur Plateau. Now I'll just go back to the previous picture here. Now this, yeah, the extension is here. This is the Northeastern Plateau separated by the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Three prominent hill ranges from the west to the east are Garo, Khasi and Jaintia. Garo, Khasi and Jaintia hills. Garo hills somewhere here. Jaintia and Khasi hills are here. Now you can see here, this is the tableland that we were talking about, not like a mountain, right? And these are the Deccan Plateau. Main hill ranges in Deccan Plateau would be the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. So we will study the differentiating between the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. This question sometimes is asked for the exam. Western Ghats run parallel to western coast, that is the Arabian coast, and forms the western of Deccan Plateau. Western edge runs parallel to the eastern coast, that is the Coromandel coast, stretch from the Mahanadi Valley to the Nilgiris in the south. Higher average height is 900 to 1600. Lower that of Western Ghats average height is 600 meters. Are like a continuous wall, cannot be crossed, but there are some ways to cross it, that is through only passes like Thalghat, Borghat, Palghat, right? These are discontinuous and irregular, have been dissected by rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal. The rivers which drain into the Bay of Bengal have dissected, so they are not continuous like Western Ghats. It is the source of many large rivers like Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri. No big river originates in the Eastern Ghat. Causes orographic rainfall by facing the rain-bearing moist winds to rise along the western slopes of the Ghats. What is orographic rainfall? I'll just explain here. If this is the mountain, when the wind gets cooled, condensed, right, it cannot go this side because it is struck by the mountains. So it will give rainfall to here, this area. And this area, it won't be any rainfall, right? It's a rain shadow area. It will become a rain shadow area, leeward side and the windward side. This area, we are here, the Western Ghats, and we are here, Dakshina Kannada, Madikeri, right? Kerala. Now, because we are here, you'll see here, this is the coast, Arabian coast, Konkan coast, Malabar coast, right? Now, this type of the rainfall is called orographic rainfall. Now, it receives rainfall only in winter season, that too through the northeastern monsoon. Don't worry about this one. We are going to study what is different types of rainfall, what is the pattern of rain in the climate chapter. The height of the Western Ghats progressively increases from north to south. Highest peaks include Anemudi at 2695 meters and Doddabetta. Whereas here the highest peak is just at 1501 meter, that is Mahendragiri. Remember this for MCQs. Here it is Anemudi and here it is Mahendragiri. Now let's move on to the next one, that is the Great Indian Desert, Thar Desert. To the northwest of the Aravalli, we'll see Aravalli range here. To the northwest of Aravalli, you see the Great Indian Desert. It's a land of undulating topography dotted with the longitudinal dunes and barkans. I'll explain you about that one. See, undulating is undulating, right? Not straight. Barkans, if you have seen, we'll see crescent-shaped barkans formed like in a sand. It is formed like this. Oh, so like the sand, not like a straight one, right? Like probably like this. This region receives low rainfall below 150 millimeter per year, hence it has arid climate. Arid means sandy with low vegetation cover. Whatever you see will be dates, some other trees, right, which require very low rainfall. It is because of these characteristic features that is this place is also known as Marusthali desert area. Though the underlying rock structure of the desert is an extension of the peninsular plateau, due to extreme arid conditions, its surface have been carved by physical weathering and wind actions. So the geologists say that the underlying rock structure belongs to the peninsular plateau, because you can see here, right, the central highlands. But what is the problem is, because of extreme weathering and wind actions, now all we can see is sand. Some of the well-renowned desert land features present here have mushroom rocks, shifting dunes, and oases, mostly in the southern part. You might have heard about oases where the water is available. On the basis of the orientation, the desert can be divided into two parts. The northern part sloping towards Sindh that's going into Pakistan, Afghanistan, and the south towards the Run of Kutch, right? There is a very famous national park in the Run of Kutch. If you know, you can put it in the comment box down below. Most of the rivers, this is rivers in this region, are non-perennial. I told you there is the presence of the Barkans, right? Sand dunes like a crescent shaped sand dunes. And the river that flows here is the biggest river is the Luni River, flowing in the southern part of desert. The only large river in this region is of some significance. Barkans, I told you already. Now the river Luni originates in the Pushkar Valley. This is Pushkar, and it drains in Run of Kutch. Run of Kutch. Look at this river. This is not a deep river, it's a shallow river, and it is salty and sweet at some parts. Not good for agriculture, they say. Read about the river Luni. So that brings us to the end of today's. We have studied about the Peninsular Plateau and the Great Indian Desert. In both of the cases, you will get a short note for 3 marks to write about the Peninsular Plateau and its types and the Great Indian Desert. So I hope you understood. If you did not understand, I'll hope that you put questions. I'll just open the group for discussion. You can come back there and put your questions there. So thanks for watching. That's all for today. Next is the coastal plains and it's the islands which are left from this chapter. So I'll continue and I will focus on that. Till then, remember also, as always, stay safe and stay inside.